Good morning, everyone, and we've got a new sponsor for Summer Bash. It is Stronghand Tools. I'm going to try to zoom in on that. It's pretty tiny. Stronghand Tools right there. And they sent over some great stuff for us to give away at the Bash. They've got the bar type C-clamps, 4 large ones, and then the same style of clamp in a little smaller version. And they've got the Vise grip style C-clamps, which have some interesting features. I've kind of oogled them a little bit, so we're going to open one of those up and play with it. And then there's another one there. And they've got what they call a Grasshopper, which is kind of cool, kind of like a welding finger, but it's spring-loaded and it's got a magnetic base, magnetic swivel base. And they've got the swivel base V-pads, which are always handy. I have those here already. And those are nice little units. I use those for all kinds of crazy angles and stuff. So they've got the magnetic V-pads, 2 of those to give away, 2 Grasshoppers, 4 small clamps, 4 large clamps. And these are interesting. This is called a Big Mouth Pliers with copper soft jaws. And they've got... there's the soft jaws, which are removable. They've got kind of a V-block built into them. So you can clamp down on something without marring the surface, and it will conduct electricity, so no problem there. Now these have a pretty interesting handle on them. It's kind of a crank with a hole in it. We'll open one of those up and give those a look. And we're going to open up the regular locking type C-clamps and play with those. Show you what those are about. And maybe we'll open up one of these bar clamps because they've got something that kind of interested me. We'll see it. See, free comfort handle, limited time offer. So they all come with a comfort handle. I'm guessing that's just for the T handle, but we'll pop one of these out and play with those. So let's go check out Stronghand Tools. Okay, let's start with the locking Vise grip style clamps, and let's talk about those a little bit. First of all, these have swivel pads. I'm sure you can get them without too. I use the ones without, but some of the features on it are an easy lock release, which these are kind of backwards from the regular Vise grips that we're used to. You actually squeeze to release, so it's a push, not a pull. And we're going to show you the Vise grip counterpart here in a minute. So it's got an easy lock release. The next one is, which is huge to me because it's really irritating. It says minimize bar pop outs right there. Now, I know that's happened to everybody, which is interesting. You literally can't get that bar to come out. Let's look at the Vise grip counterpart. Those are my tried and trues right there. Let me dump these and let's just look at this one. Now, let's look at the lock. See, this one's a kind of a push, and that one's a pull to release. But the bar pop out they're talking about is right there. And I don't know, it's happened to everyone. Everyone on the planet that uses Vise grips has had that pop out when you're trying to use your third hand to clamp something and you're got something lined up perfectly and the stupid bar pops out and then you're fighting it. So I've always hated that. So that's pretty awesome that they've, you literally can't get that out of there. So they've got that little hole right there that holds a spring right there, kind of swedged open. So that just can't get out. So pretty cool. Let's talk about some of the other features. Vise grips with a knob, love it. Always love the knob. And they're back to the knob, which is cool. They give you a cheater hole if you want to stick a screwdriver through there and tighten it. But they kind of added something to it. They put a little half nut on there. If you've got a lot of repetitive stuff to do, get these set at your, your clamping force, and then tighten your lock nut. And then you've got a lot of repetitive clamping you can do. That a lot of times you bump the knurled knob and you change your adjustment. So perfect that you can actually lock the lock nut. So it's got a lot of cool features. forged steel here, and then stamped steel here, chrome plated. Nice. All right, so that's the Stronghand vice grip C-clamp. That's the OG original there that you're used to with the knob. Let's take a look at Milwaukee. And the bar can pop out. This is Milwaukee's Torque Lock, which are so much like the regular vice grips, it's not even funny. What I've discovered on these is this is what they put on them, and absolutely hate it. Their selling point is that you can hang these on a little pegboard or something and hang your grips, like that. When you could just hang them like that, it doesn't matter. So really miss the knurled knob. This gets in the way, especially if you're using welding gloves. It's cumbersome and it's just not thumb and forefinger. It's kind of funky. So don't like that about the Milwaukee brand. Love the knurled knobs on regular vice grips, and Stronghand gave me a nice little knob back. So very happy with these, or someone's gonna be happy with these. These aren't mine. These belong to the bash. So okay, so here's their welding finger. They call it a Grasshopper. It's got a magnetic base with swivel pads. Kind of cool. And then it's got a spring-loaded kind of a clip here. And this actually swivels. And it's got a tension screw there with looks like a tension washer underneath. So it's got a nice feel to it. And then you can adjust the finger in and out as required. So you could nail your part. So, if you had... So you could do that on maybe a square tube. See, with these, you can use these vertically. So if I wanted to stick that down on a square tube like that, so I've got two nice neodymium magnet pads stuck down to there, and then I've got a welding finger that can come in and hold a part down for me, and it's adjustable, so you can swivel left or swivel right, whatever you want. So that's pretty cool. It's not just for horizontal work. And wow, those magnets are no joke. And everything's nice and flush out here. When you get metal shavings and stuff on it, just kind of take your finger and wipe it clean and keep that clean. So that's what they call a Grasshopper. It's very innovative. It's pretty darn cool. And so it can be used flat, or it could be used on a curved surface. Actually, let me go get a piece of round pipe and or a rod or something, and we'll stick it to that. Let's go check that out. Okay, so there's an old ratty piece of shafting. Let me get that in frame there. So let's see how the Grasshopper behaves on that. Tip my V-pads in, pull my spring back, and kind of set that right on the shaft. So it's stuck really well. And let's say we had I got another little piece of junk here. Let's say we had a little stub we had to stick out of there and tack weld it on. It'll hold that in place, and you can get in there and get your tacks on. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that would be pretty difficult to hold otherwise if you had a little shorty like that. So pretty cool. So it works on rounds. It works on squares, and it'll work right off your table. Okay, so that's the Grasshopper. It can be used horizontally, vertically, stuck to your parts or not stuck to your parts. Pretty cool. And I'll show you what I've been using. There's one of my little V block stickers right there. There's my finger, or my welding finger that I use. It's got a sliding weight, so I can control the downforce on the finger. But for extra creepiness, that's an actual finger from a prop house. Okay, so that's Stan's welding finger. Yeah, I got that. That was a dumpster dive. I was at a prop house that did horror movies, so there was a bunch of artificial limbs in the trash. So pretty creepy. So I got me a finger. All right, but that's my welding finger, and this is the welding finger by Stronghand Tools. Okay, so we got, next up we got the magnetic V-pads, which are pretty cool. These got tons of uses. I don't know whether we should bother opening these up, but well, I've got one of my own over here. And these little fellows are really versatile. Let's say you had, a flat bar you had to bring out. You could, as a magnet there, you could put your flat bar in there and it would stick it out at 90 degrees, or you could tip it around. If you had a special angle, you could do a 45, whatever. So it's very versatile. It'll stick around corners, as so. So they've got two different sizes. They got two of the minis like I've got here. That's my mini there. So they got two of those little ones and two of the big ones. So pretty cool. Theirs are a little different. Mine don't have magnets in the back. Theirs have magnets on the swivel feet, and so they got it here on the swivel feet, but then they've also got it on the back too. So that would add some versatility to them. So there's their little. I don't think this is a genuine Stronghand. It's a little different. So pretty nice. There's a couple of examples there, what you could do with them, any angle. And then if you're doing some work from round to a flat or round to a square or something, you can clamp your stuff in and get it tacked up. Okay. Okay, well, I'm not going to open all these clamps, but I did want to open at least one of them. And these are the bar type clamps. And they're kind of like what Bessie does. It's kind of like a Bessie clamp, where it puts. You see the angle of the. Hold on, let me get this out right here. You see the angle at which this sits right here. It's beyond 90. So when you go to tighten, it pulls it down and pinches at this point. And down here they've got a little spring-loaded locking mechanism, so you can take them apart if you need to or you want to. So you can get them apart, and after they go on, they click on. I know some of my Bessies, they're worn out, and sometimes if this bar falls down, it'll fall all the way off, which is really irritating. So that little clip right there is a welcome addition. So these are pretty nice heavy duty clamps. This is a forged steel. Look at that. This looks like a forging, and this is forged down here. And they gave us what they call a comfort handle. Let's open that up and see what that's all about. So it's kind of a two-piece plastic thing. Looks like it's just gonna clip onto here. Oh, now it's gonna be tight, is what it's gonna be. Oh yeah. There's one. Oh, I'm trying to put it up on the knob. What a knucklehead. Well, you know what? If they fit on this tight, this is awesome. Oh, there it goes. This is awesome that they don't, it's not going to come off anytime soon. And then it's got a kind of a cap that snaps down this way. Wow, that fits in tight too. Oh, that stops it from sliding back and forth. So that center cap is optional. Right now you can have it dead center, which is kind of cool. But if you remove that little center cap, it still will slide back and forth. So pretty nicely engineered. That's a pretty cool feature. This kind of locks this from doing the slide out. Wow, that went on so it slid in there really hard and deep. So that went in there good too. So that creates a kind of a nice handle for you to grab with your gloves and turn it, you know, or whatever, without really damaging it, but you don't get the sliding extra leverage action if you're turning it into just a T-handle. I suppose if you could, yeah, you can thumb and forefinger it and get it off center if you like, and it still clears the bar, even slid all the way over, which is nice. But if you did have, if you had some speed work to do, that'd be pretty cool. You can do a quick adjustment with that little knob. It's pretty nice with it centered. It kind of balances itself and slides in and out. Acme screws, pretty nice clamps. We got 4 of these to give away and 4 of the big ones to give away. Stronghand tools. Okay, we've got here what they call a big mouth plier. So it's a vice grip style with a few interesting twists. First of all, it's got copper soft jaws, pretty cool. And these jaws are removable. If you want to use the hard jaws with the serrations, you can. There are serrated jaws out there. Here's something I've never seen before. These detents right here. You can take that plier and get, I guess this is the big mouth part, because that's pretty darn big. And, you know, you can grab a hold of something without damaging it. You can weld with it. The copper will conduct electricity, no problem. And they're actually showing it grabbing a hold of something on the lathe. You know, quite often you're working on something on a threaded part, and it's threaded itself onto the shaft, and you're done working, and it's tightened itself, and you need to just give it a crack loose without damaging your part. This would be the tool to do it. So I don't have any soft jaws for any of my vice grips, but that's pretty awesome. I always end up using a strip of rubber with a pair of channel locks to crack something loose on the lathe that's threaded itself on. So big mouth pliers, pretty darn cool. I'm probably going to add this to my wish list. Okay, well we covered the small bar clamp, the big mouth pliers. We covered the V-pads. We covered the Grasshopper. We compared the large vice grips. The small ones are more of the same. So we've got 4 of those, 4 of the large, 4 of the small. We didn't cover the big bar clamp, but that's more of the same. The foot is a little different on these, or the swivel pad is a little different on these than it is on the smaller ones. But it's a larger pad, and there's a spring in there. It feels like it's spring loaded, and they all come with the optional comfort handle that you can pop on your little T-bar there. Well, it should also be mentioned that it says each Stronghand tool is warranted to be free of defects in material and workmanship for the life of the tool, under normal wear and tear, except for damage caused by misuse or alteration. Return the tool to the place of purchase for replacement if warranty applies. So pretty cool, lifetime warranty. You ought to check them out. It's Stronghand tools, but also look up this Valtra. They're right here in Santa Fe Springs, California. It's stronghandtools.com, but they also got some machinery parts and some other things that you should probably look over. They've got hand wheels and all kinds of castings and things for machinery replacement parts. So go poke around on their website and go check them out. All right, but we sure appreciate everything they sent over to the bash. Thanks for watching, everybody.